I've seen more and more festivals take interest in having some degree of harm reduction.
There's a push to get the province to help with drug testing for the return of the summer festival circuit. With some worrying without harm reduction plans, the events could turn dangerous and even lethal. Good Night Out Van co-founder Stacey Forrester wrote to the BC government asking for funding to help festivals with programs including drug testing. The group recently started patrolling the Granville Strip again and says there are new concerns with the return of nightlife.
Many young adults learn their harm reduction skills through friends or through going to events and seeing those behaviors modeled, or perhaps through on-campus activities, which they also haven't had. Also, many young adults may have taken a break totally from consuming over the pandemic and now be back.
This is a sample of down.
The Get Your Drugs Tested Center on East Hastings recently hit a milestone, 25,000 drug tests completed. And it's getting a mobile truck ready to offer free testing at summer music festivals. But it argues it has 2 drug testing machines, and the province has more than a dozen.
They're only offering drug testing at certain spots, maybe just a few hours a day, or you can drop something off and get your results a week later. And so we're doing about 3/4 of all the testing in British Columbia just out of this one tiny spot here with our limited resources. I'd really love to see the province do more of this and invest a few $1,000,000.
According to tests here, crack and cocaine are more likely to be contaminated.
It's still a pretty low number, but we definitely see fentanyl showing up in those things more than we see it showing up in, say, MDMA.
A 2019 BC coroner's report recommended drug checking at festivals after a 16-year-old died at a Kelowna event from a deadly amount of MDA in what she thought was ecstasy. Minister of Mental Health and Addictions Sheila Malcolmson was not available for an interview, but her office says it will fully review the letter. It pointed to several government drug checking sites. It states, in part, toxic drugs are circulating, and we are asking people to look out for one another and help keep our friends and family members who use drugs alive. Forrester, who also runs a harm reduction program for a festival, says BC could at least help fund drug tests if it won't mandate them for large events.
You can have all of the options if it feels good and you can afford to resource it, or you can have none.
In Vancouver, Crystal Laderas, City News.